Greetings. Today, we are going to talk about how the Filipino identity in literature has died. But it's not too late yet. We will be presenting an elegy in 3 parts, and maybe it might change your perspective on Philippine literature.
Destroy the middle, it's a waste of time. From the perfect start to the finish line.
About a month ago, I was on my way home from school with my friend who is also studying in Manila, but she was from a different university. I started talking to her about this guy from the internet, Marcelo Santos III, an author of books entitled Para sa Broken-Hearted and Para sa Hopeless Romantic. I told her that there was a certain someone who had written a letter to Marcelo Santos accusing him of propagating ignorance towards the Filipino youth. What I couldn't believe was how she defended Marcelo Santos. Her defense was that reading was for entertainment only, and that books that were shallow and without depth were better. I was unsure of how I would process her argument. In my head, she is only one out of the thousands of Filipino youth who possess the same mindset.
We'll reveal the truth. That one will die before he gets there.
Apparently, local bookstores reflect this mindset. You would see it as soon as you enter the local bookstores. A table with so-called literature right next to the bestsellers, while the section of the Philippine publications were usually placed at the very back of the store. If you wish for proof, just visit the fully book right across the LSC.
Is our literature slowly being replaced by these pseudo-novels? What is their defense? The masses choose these stories for the reason that it is cheaper and easier to understand. The majority of Filipinos would hate reading a novel in Filipino because the language is too deep, they would say. They seem to be unaware that there are local novels written in English, proper English for that matter. This is not a matter of language depth, but a matter of indolence. To think critically, to grab a dictionary. If Facebook is worth our time, why can't the dictionary be?
Well, I've lost it all, I'm just a silhouette. A lifeless face.
Our young people think of nothing more than love affairs and pleasures. They spend more time dishonoring young women and seducing them rather than thinking of their own country.
Our women, in order to take care of their house and family of God, forget their own.
Our men limit their activities to vices and their heroics to shameful acts.
Children wake up in a flood of routine. Adolescents live out their years without ideals, and their elders are sterile, and only to serve corrupt our young people by their example.
The youth today do not realize what they're missing out from the works of F. Shonil Jose, Nick Joaquin, Dualhati Bautista, Jose Garcia Villa, and Carlos Bulosan, just to name a few greats. It would be a total abomination if you had not bothered to read or look up at least one work of Jose Rizal.
Carlos Bulosan was a man of perseverance. He came from a poor family and rose up against all odds to bloom in the United States of America. He broke down cultural barriers and spoke of truth in his works.
I love F. Shonil Jose's work because he wrote about the Filipino struggle throughout the 20th century, the Philippine Revolution against the Spaniards, the Second World War, and then the Marcos regime. It widened my perspective towards nationalism and how people attempted to perfect their concept of nationalism. In his novels, he depicted the colorful characters of Philippine society, and I realized that no matter how different I am from these characters, we all share something in common because we are all Filipino. F. Shonil Jose can never compare to any other author for me.
For
works took a great role in the revolution against the Spanish. Rather than fighting with the sword, he fought with a pen, thus making him one of the most relevant authors in the Philippines.
What could be greater than discovering your identity, your history, your culture, instigating nationalism, learning about a different kind of love, a deep and faithful love for your country?
Our country, our history, our culture, the people who stood up and died for the love of our country. What we have now and what we are now, it is all because of them. So let us never forget them, and we can keep them alive through literature.
All in all, I guess we could say that there is little hope for our so-called Filipino identity. But in that hope that we cling to, we may be able to rise again.
Change my